সুধী দর্শক, আমি সোনিয়া খান। আজকের আলাপচারিতায় আপনাদের জানাচ্ছি অনেক অনেক শুভেচ্ছা। আমরা চেষ্টা করি প্রতিটা আলাপচারিতায় গুণী ব্যক্তিদের আপনাদের সামনে উপস্থাপন করার জন্য। তো এবারও আমরা তেমনি একজন মানুষকে আপনাদের সামনে পরিচয় করে দিতে যাচ্ছি, যিনি আমাদের বাঙালি কমিউনিটিতে খুবই একজন পরিচিত মুখ। তিনি হলেন মিস্টার ব্রুস গ্রিন। Welcome to you, Mr. Bruce Green at FBTV.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's an honor to be interviewed by you, Sonia Khan.
Thank you, Mr. Bruce Green. It was my pleasure.
Thank you.
Mr. Bruce Green, would you like to describe yourself?
Yes. I was actually born in Brooklyn, New York. I only lived there for 1 year, and then we moved out towards Long Island in Queens, and I was raised there. And I stayed there till I went to college. I went to Queens College.
Okay.
And once I graduated, I moved to Florida. So I've been down here now over 40 years.
Wow, it's been so long, huh? Yeah. No, you are not actually. So, how did you first get started in our community?
Well, it's a funny story. My wife's grandmother is 101 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. And she would always shop at Famous.
She's still alive?
She's still alive. She's still alive. And she lives in Century Village in Boca Raton.
Okay.
And she used to go to the Famous Deli right across the street. And she'd always tell me about it. And they all knew her there. So when I went in, I said, I'm Grandma, everyone knows her by Grandma B. So I said, I'm Grandma B's grandson. And at the time, Feroz was there, who was the owner of the store.
Okay.
And he came out and introduced himself to me. And we got to talking. And he had asked what I do. And I told him I do Obamacare. This is when it first started, back in 2014. And he said, oh, I can't believe you're here, he says, because 3 of my employees had such problems enrolling. And 2 of them were declined, and the other gentleman got a very, very high premium, over $200 a month, and there's no way he can afford it. And I said, I call him Sam, and I said, Feroz, but I said Sam.
Okay.
I said, why don't you let me sit down with them and see what I could do? And we went in the back, and I took them one by one, and I went in, and all 3 of them had mistakes. They were all eligible for Obamacare. Not only were they eligible, but their premiums, instead of being $200-300, one was, I think, $18. It's been a long time. One was for free, and the other one was $7.
Wow.
So then Feroz called up some of his friends, and he said, Bruce, can you please come here the next day? And I went there the next evening, and he set up like a little office in the back. And then Dinaj came in, which was his older brother, and he said, oh my God, he says, you got to get everybody in here. Everybody's got to meet Bruce. And what happened was, all of a sudden, before you know it, people started lining up. And then Rana called me up, your brother-in-law, Rana Khan, and he asked if I can come to his store in Delray. And I went to his store in Delray, and it was the same situation. You know, some brokers, they made mistakes, or nobody got the insurance the correct way. And one by one, I fixed each employee, and everybody was thrilled. And then, do you know Mamoon?
Yeah, I know.
I'm saying it right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So then Mamoon was shopping in Deshi Bazaar in Delray.
Okay.
On Atlantic Avenue in Congress. And there were 2 other gentlemen, Bengalis, and they were saying how this Obamacare is terrible, we can't get eligibility, and it's too expensive. And Mamoon said, no, you're just with the wrong person. They said, you got to meet this guy. His name is Bruce Green. And at the same time, Shimon, who's the owner of Deshi Bazaar, was listening. So he said to Mamoon, would you be able to get me his number so I can call him? And then Shimon called me, and from there it just like ballooned. He asked if I could come to his store, and I just started going to his store, and I was fixing everybody's insurance up, and people that were declined, I got them insurance. People that had their insurance too high, I lowered the premiums. People that had high cost sharing, we got it to where it was supposed to be. And your community was just unbelievable. From one person to another, all of a sudden, before you knew it, the people lined out the door, And that's how I got started in the community, and I'm blessed to be here.
So how does it feel working with the Bengali community?
It's great. I mean, I just pretty much everyone's just family and friends now. I mean, I have a Facebook. I have, believe it or not, almost 3,000 people just between Bangladesh and India on my Facebook and everybody. And, I go to the parks. I'm invited to birthdays, and it's really funny. I can give you one story. People call me for everything now. It's not just insurance, just to help out. So there's this one elderly lady. She's from Bangladesh. She's from Dhaka. Really nice woman. And she lives in Kings Point in Delray, but she lives by herself. And she calls me one night. She says, Bruce, she goes, I'm going to my daughter. She lives in Maryland. I don't know how to get to the airport. So I'm telling you, people call me for everything. Everything. My phone doesn't stop. 12, 1 in the morning, the phone's ringing. So I said, well, when are you going? And, I know she, has some difficulties. So I know someone that drives people to the airport. So I sent him over there. He took her to the airport, and everything was great. But the funny part is, then she calls me up. She's in Maryland. And she goes, Bruce. She goes, thank you so much. And I thought it was very nice. She called me up. And I said, no, it was no problem. She says, I'm happy it was no problem because I'm coming home tomorrow. And how do I get back to the house? So, of course, I sent the driver, and he picked her up and he took her home. But I'm just saying that's just, one of the many stories. I just, I treat everyone like friends and family, and they treat me the same.
Bruce, we all know that you are working with Obamacare, and you're helping with Obamacare with everybody, and anybody needs help. If anyone calls you, you always answer the phone and explain to them. Can you explain to us here at FBTV, like how does Obamacare work?
Yeah, of course. So, first of all, Obamacare is subsidized by the federal government. So what many people are not aware is the health insurance is not Obamacare. It's the same health insurance that you would get off the market as you get on the market. So it's the same health insurance. It's the companies like Ambetter, Blue Cross, all these companies. The only difference is when you go through Obamacare, it goes by the level of the income of the household.
Oh, okay.
And what happens is if you have a lower income of the household, then the government subsidizes it. To give you an example, I know it sounds a little crazy, but my average family, the premium, a family of 4 is probably $1,200–$1,300.
Okay.
That same person with me pays my average person under $12 a month for the whole family.
With Obamacare?
With Obamacare because of the subsidy.
Subsidy. Oh,
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is subsidy though?
The subsidy is, like I explained, the premium, let's say the premium is $1,000.
Okay.
And let's say a household, some people, things are very rough right now. Some people might be making $13,000, $14,000 a year. So how could they afford to pay $1,000 a month for health insurance, which is $12,000? They don't even take that much money home. So what the government does is they look into how much the household income is, and then it's called subsidizing. So the government says, look, there's no way this family can afford $1,000 a month. They can only afford, because of everything, they put food on the table, maybe $20 a month. So the government will pay Ambetter, if that's the insurance company, $980, and then the customer just pays $20. And they have the same insurance as anyone else paying $1,000.
Oh, okay.
Except better.
So based on your income?
It's all based on household income.
Household
so
income.
Not a person.
It's a household
It's a total
income.
of everybody that works in the house, yes.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is cost of sharing?
That's funny. So the cost sharing is the second faction in Obamacare. The federal government, what they said is that the normal, let's say, Ambetter policy might have a $5,000 deductible. Okay? Co-payment for primary doctor could be $25. The specialist may be $50. So God forbid somebody goes into the hospital, or even gets a special test like an MRI, they would have to pay up to the first $5,000. So now that same family can't afford that. So what the government does is they go to the insurance company and it's called cost sharing. They reduce not only the premium, but they reduce the deductible. So 80% of my clients on Ambetter have a zero deductible. So, and when they go to the primary doctor, it's for free, and the specialist is $5.
Wow.
Then there's one other thing, it's called an out-of-pocket maximum. By the time we're done, everyone can become insurance agents. The out-of-pocket maximum is $1,000 on most of my clients. So what does that mean? God forbid somebody goes to the hospital and the bill is $100,000, $10,000. What happens is you would be responsible for the first 25%, and Ambetter would pay the other 75%. But once you reach $1,000 at any time in the year, they pay 100%. So if an insurance bill is $100,000, believe it or not, you're only responsible for $1,000. The insurance company pays the $99,000. Wow. Very good. Yes.
What are the different plans on exchange?
Right now in the Tri-County area, meaning Palm Beach, Dade, and Broward. It was just Ambetter, really, and Florida Blue. But coming for 2020, they're actually going to have two new companies, not new companies. Cigna was on it before. Now, Cigna, I don't want to confuse anyone, is a PPO. So that means you can go out of network. But the premiums are much higher.
Yeah.
So even with the subsidy, if you're entitled, let's say, to $500 and the other insurance is $510, you just pay $10. But if the other insurance, let's say Cigna is $700, you'd be responsible for the $290. Then there's a company called Oscar Health, which is coming to Palm Beach. I think just Palm Beach County.
Not for Broward or Dade County.
I'm not sure. I get the inside because I'm an elite broker with the marketplace. So they actually kind of ask me questions and we get together. So the decision wasn't made and it's coming, but I think they're going to just be in Palm Beach County. But it's a little funny story. Oscar is owned by Donald Trump's, yes, Donald Trump's son-in-law's brother, and the founder, one of the founders of Google. So this will be the first time they're coming to the market, but we'll see. You know, that's why I already told my clients, you know, we're going to compare all the plans and make sure they get the best plan for the least amount of money.
Is there any other insurance coming, like now is Obamacare since Obama was here, so right now Trump is here, so is there any Trump care coming?
No, well, see, Obamacare is just a slang name for the Affordable Care Act, which is the act that said we're going to subsidize and have cost sharing. And I hear so much about Trump care and everyone, you know, but that, it means, that's a joke. There is no such thing as Trump care. People just talk about it and they call it Trump care, but there's no such thing.
So people are right now confusing the Obamacare and Trump care. Even though I get something, an email, it says Trump care.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really existing.
You get just get bombarded with these crazy emails. But there might be a term Trump care, but there is no. It's just Obamacare with the Affordable Care Act. You have the marketplace, and that was what everyone considers Obamacare.
The minimum household income.
Well, it's all based on the amount of people in the household, but this is what happened. I'll tell you. This is something that they did. What the government did was they said, listen, we don't want to give too many things away, because if you give too many things away, people might rather not work and collect more things from the government than go to work. So what the government said is, we're going to make a minimum. We only want to offer this to people that are working. So just to give you an example, for a single person, you have to have a minimum income of a little over $12,000 in order to be eligible for Obamacare.
There is no age limitation here, right? Like
there is no age limitation. That's another question that I'm asked all the time, because I do Medicare and Medicaid with people 65 and over.
People are more likely to get Medicare, right?
Well, what happens is, how that works is, if you're 65, you're eligible for Medicare, but you're only eligible if you worked in this country for 10 years. They consider that 40 quarters. So if you didn't, you're still allowed to stay on Obamacare, because probably one thing that's a beautiful thing about your community, and I admire, I really do, is where it's really different in America. But in your community, when your parents get old, it's funny, when you're young, your parents take care of you, and then when they get old, it's just a reversal and you take care of them. So a lot of people still live at home. So if your parents are 65, 70, 80, and they didn't work here for 10 years, then they don't qualify for Medicare, so I still have them on Obamacare. Yes.
Oh, okay. So what are the most important dates for Obamacare?
Well, the big days to remember is coming up almost any day. I mean, I've been working 18-hour days just preparing. Is November 1st. November 1st is open enrollment. Now, open enrollment ends December 15th. So those are the most important days right now. When it first started, it was actually 3 months. It started on November 1st and went on to January 30th. But Trump...
Mr. Bruce Green, rest of the answer, I'll take it from you. Now we have to take a short break.
Sure.
Shri Darshak Mandali, চান হলো ছোট্ট একটা বিরতি নেবার, কোথাও যাবেন না, সঙ্গেই থাকুন, ফিরে আসছি ছোট্ট একটা বিরতির পর।
ফুলে ফুলে ভরে উঠুক আপনার চারপাশ, উৎসবে আনন্দে ভালোবাসা একরাশ। বাংলাদেশি ঐতিহ্যবাহী কোনো অনুষ্ঠান কিংবা আমেরিকান অথবা অন্য কোনো দেশের আনন্দ আয়োজন, আমরাও আছি আপনাদের সঙ্গে। এছাড়া বিয়ে বার্ষিকী কিংবা জন্মদিন অথবা অন্য কোনো ব্যক্তিগত অনুষ্ঠান, ফুল ছাড়া কি চলে? গোলাপ, অর্কিড কিংবা তরতাজা অন্য কোনো ফুল পেতে আসুন আমাদের কাছে। এছাড়া আমরা নানা ধরনের সুদৃশ্য টব এবং পটারিও বিক্রি করে থাকি। ফ্যামিলি প্রোডিউস অ্যান্ড ফ্লাওয়ার শপ, 7620 South Dixie Highway, West Palm Beach, Florida 33405. Telephone 561-533-3682, 561-797-9211. খুব ভালো একটি এলাকায় আপনার বাড়ি, ব্যবসাটাও ভালো হচ্ছে, এরপরও চাই একটু বাড়তি নিরাপত্তা। জীবনের ঝুঁকি আর ঝামেলা কমাতে তাই প্রয়োজন সিকিউরিটি ক্যামেরা। আপনার নিরাপত্তায় J&P সিকিউরিটি ক্যামেরা। আমরা সব ধরনের LED লাইট, সিকিউরিটি ক্যামেরা এবং এ সংক্রান্ত যাবতীয় জিনিস বিক্রয়, স্থাপন ও সার্ভিসিং করে থাকি। আমাদের সঙ্গে যোগাযোগ জুয়েল 561-452-8450। আমাদেরকে ইমেল করতে পারেন jp.system@yahoo.com এ। প্রতিদিনকার জীবনে কত কিছুই না প্রয়োজন, আর আপনার প্রয়োজনে আমরা আছি পাশে। মায়ামি কে ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন ইনক, যাবতীয় আমেরিকান গ্রোসারি হোলসেল প্রাইসে বিক্রির একমাত্র বাংলাদেশি প্রতিষ্ঠান। সুলভ মূল্যে নিত্য প্রয়োজনীয় সামগ্রী পাবেন একই ছাদের নিচে। নানা ধরনের খাবারের সঙ্গে আছে কোমল পানীয়, গৃহস্থালী সামগ্রী। আমাদের সুপ্রশস্ত দোকানে এসে খুচরা বিক্রেতারা বেছে নিন আপনার দরকারি জিনিস। টেলিফোনে অর্ডার করলেও আমরা পৌঁছে দেই যত্নের সাথে। মায়ামি কে ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন ইনক, 1301 ওয়েস্ট কপন্স রোড, পম্পানো বিচ, ফ্লোরিডা 33064, বিল্ডিং G, সুইট 10 and 11। টেলিফোন 561-7151-504।
আপনার সেবায় আপনার পাশে H&R ব্লক। আমাদের সেবার মধ্যে রয়েছে বিজনেস সার্ভিস, বুককিপিং, পেরোল, পার্সোনাল অ্যান্ড বিজনেস ট্যাক্স রিটার্ন, IRS সংক্রান্ত যে কোনো সমস্যায় আমরা পরামর্শ দিয়ে থাকি। আরও রয়েছে ওবামা কেয়ার, অ্যাফোর্ডেবল কেয়ার অ্যাক্ট এবং সিনিয়র সিটিজেনদের জন্য মেডিকেয়ারের ব্যবস্থা। আমাদের আরেকটি প্রতিষ্ঠান উই ইনস্যুর। এখানে আমরা হোম, অটো এবং বিজনেস ইন্স্যুরেন্স করে থাকি।
আপনাদের যদি কারো কোনো সহযোগিতা লাগে, ট্যাক্স হোক, অ্যাকাউন্টিংয়ে হোক, বুককিপিং হোক, পেরোলে হোক এবং অটো, হোম, পার্সোনাল হেলথ ইন্স্যুরেন্সে, আমাদের কাছে সব ধরনের সবজি নিয়ে আপনার
আমাদের ঠিকানা 4928 10th Avenue N, Green Acres, Florida 33463. ফোন H&R Block 561-202-6620. ফোন We Insure 561-578-6940. Customer Service 877-677-4063. নিরালার মিষ্টি অপূর্ব সৃষ্টি, মিষ্টিতে মুখ রাঙাতে আসুন পাইন ওক প্লাজায়। বাহারি মিষ্টি ছাড়াও আমাদের এখানে রয়েছে সুস্বাদু ও হালাল পাকিস্তানি এবং ইন্ডিয়ান খাবারের সমাহার। আমরা ক্যাটারিং করে থাকি। রয়েছে সুপ্রশস্ত ব্যাংকুয়েট হল। সোম থেকে শুক্রবার সকাল 11:30 থেকে 5টা পর্যন্ত বাফেট খাবারের ব্যবস্থা। আমরা 7 দিনই খোলা থাকি। নিরালা সুইট অ্যান্ড রেস্টুরেন্ট 8913W ওকল্যান্ড পার্ক, সানরাইজ FL 33351। ফোন 954-578-9060।
আপনি কি গ্যাস স্টেশন ও গ্রোসারি দোকানের মালিক? তাহলে আপনার দোকানের সকল সামগ্রী কিনতে নাপা হোলসেলে আসুন, যেখানে পাইকারি দরে মিলবে আপনার দোকানের সিগারেট, স্মোকিং সামগ্রী, ক্যান্ডি, গাম, ঔষধ সহ সকল সামগ্রী। আমাদের আছে অনলাইন সেবা। অনলাইনে অর্ডার করলে নাপা হোলসেল ডিস্ট্রিবিউটর টিম পৌঁছে দেবে আপনার প্রোডাক্ট আপনার দ্বারে। আমাদের 2টা শাখায় আপনারা যোগাযোগ করতে পারেন। নাপা হোলসেল 1, 4365 ওকিচবি বুলুবার্ড, ওয়েস্ট পাম বিচ, ফ্লোরিডা 33409। ফোন নাম্বার 5616841107। আমাদের দ্বিতীয় শাখা নাপা হোলসেল 2, 3346 45 স্ট্রিট, ওয়েস্ট পাম বিচ, ফ্লোরিডা 33409। ফোন নাম্বার 5618145860।
শুধু দর্শক, অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ সঙ্গে থাকার জন্য। আবার ফিরে এলাম আলাপচারিতায়। ওয়েলকাম টু আলাপচারিতায়, মিস্টার ব্রুস গ্রিন। আলাপচারিতা, is there any other time I can sign up for Obamacare?
Yes, there is. I mean, that's why I work all year round. There's something called a special enrollment, okay? So what is this? Who can qualify for a special enrollment? Number one, if you just moved to Florida, or you moved, let's say, from another state, or if you just came from Bangladesh, they give you up to 60 days for a special enrollment. So you have to enroll in 60 days or less from when the circumstance happened. So in other words, if you came in June 1st, we have to get you enrolled before August 1st. Another way you can get a special enrollment is if the person was on Medicaid or any insurance. Let's say they worked for a company and they're no longer working for the company and they lost their insurance, they can get a special enrollment, and the same 60 days goes with that too.
What do you think? Is Obamacare is going to stay here?
Well, that's a funny story because, you know, in 2014, everybody was saying, oh, it's going away, they're fighting. And of course, when the elections came, the Republicans, one of the biggest things on their agenda is we're going to get rid of Obamacare.
Yeah.
So 2014 I heard it, 2015 I heard it.
And now we are in 19, huh?
And now we're going towards 2020.
2020.
So, for 5 years I've been hearing Obamacare's going away, and guess what, Sonia?
Still is here.
Not only is it here, it's bigger and better than it ever was.
Yeah, it is. You're lucky, huh?
We're all lucky.
We're all lucky.
That's right. Listen, Sonia, I could tell you stories of people in your community. Of course, I wouldn't name names, but who call me crying on the phone, and they say, Bruce, if it wasn't for you, and it's not me, I'm just a person, it's actually Obamacare, I wouldn't be here today, because of some people have severe diabetes, other people had open heart surgery, and they're able to use, and that's another thing, people call me all the time, Bruce, I went to my doctor and I say I need open heart surgery, who can you recommend? So I work and I try to get them the best surgeons, the best cardiologists. You know, I know who's in network, who's not in network. So I work with the people, and you should see I get gifts. People send me, you know, and I don't want gifts, but you know, everyone invites me over to their house for dinner and stuff like that, which is just beautiful. But that's how important Obamacare is. And without a question, without it, there would be people not here today that are here today.
Thanks to you.
Not thanks to me, thanks to everybody. You know, it's a joint, you know, it's having Obamacare. It's just that I know how to work within the system. Yes, that I can tell you, without a doubt.
Why, like Bruce, so many people losing their insurance during the year?
That's another thing. So what happens is, for my clients, the majority of my clients are from another country, okay? So what happens is they either have a certificate of naturalization or a green card, or they just might have a visa. So a lot of times the government is asking for proof of citizenship or proof of income. And you know, it's not so easy to understand exactly what they're asking for. So instead of them calling the marketplace, and the marketplace, you know, I'm sorry to say, just, you know, they might not be on top of things, they call me. So most of the people that lost their insurance are not really my clients. They're clients that I get from other referrals to say, oh God, you got to call Bruce and he'll help. But that's the reason. It's where you don't send in proof of income, and that's only if they ask, or proof of citizenship, or let's say they moved from one state to another, or they came from Bangladesh. You know what I do is, when they come from Bangladesh, I take a picture of the passport and the stamp when they came, and I have a special, I upload it directly, and then there's never an issue.
So it means like you don't have to be U.S. citizen to apply for Obamacare.
Not at all.
You could be green card holder, right?
Not even a green card holder. I get people done that just have a work permit.
How about the visitors? They get insurance too? Like the visitor cannot apply for Obamacare?
Visa or visitor?
The visitor.
No. You have to be a permanent resident. When I say permanent resident, just residing here in Florida or United States.
How about the student?
No, the students get it because they're here in school. As long as they have income, though. You remember, you still have to have income. But don't get me wrong, if the father lives here and the student's not working, he's going to school, the student goes under the household income, so he'll go over his dad or mom's income.
Oh, okay.
But FAU and Lynn, I have so many people from international students.
So how about like their parents is not here, but students are here, they are studying here, so still they can apply for Obamacare?
Well, the reason I am able to get them qualified is because most of them have part-time jobs.
Yeah.
So all you have to have is income, that's all. And they have, and
so if they doesn't have income, they cannot apply.
That is correct.
So Mr. Bruce Green, I know I asked you so many questions. We had a really good conversation, and we learned a lot about Obamacare, how it works, what is Obamacare, and all the important dates. So how does it feel working with the Bengali community?
Oh, well, first of all, I want to say a little something about you. You are a great investigative reporter, and I think Geraldo Rivera better watch out, because you might take over.
You kidding?
I'm serious.
You kidding?
But how is it? It's just great. I mean, I consider them family. Actually, at the end of our interview, I did a slideshow that FBTV is kind enough to put on, and it'll show you how I'm treated in the community and how I treat the community.
Bruce, since you was working with our Bengali community for so long, do you learn any Bangla word?
I don't speak as much as I should, but there's one word I do know, and it's do no bad.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I use it very often.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Bruce, what does this mean you are a top producer with Amber?
Well, that's something I want to tell you. I'm very honored. In the Tri-County area, Ambetter is #1, and they're all over the country. But I have to tell you, I was actually awarded from Ambetter. You can see this.
Can you show it to the viewers so they can see also?
It says 2019 Top Producer from Ambetter, Bruce Green. And thank you, Ambetter. I do appreciate that. Not only that, if you don't mind me showing this.
No.
Okay. I don't want to take too much of your time, Sonia.
No. Take your time, Bruce. We are here for you.
You can see, remember I told you I'm getting old? I never wore reading glasses. Now I have to wear reading glasses.
I do wear glasses too sometimes.
Okay. This, I was actually awarded from the person in charge of the Affordable Care Act in Washington, D.C. And if you look at it, it says Elite Plus. They have Elite, then they have Elite Plus. Very, very few people have this certificate. And I got it, and then would it be okay if I read it?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. It says this certificate is proudly presented to Bruce Green in appreciation of your extraordinary contribution and success during the 2019 health insurance marketplace open enrollment period. Thanks to your hard work, you have increased access to health care and made a lasting positive impact on the community. And this is signed by the director in Washington, D.C. And I was very honored to receive this certificate.
You work hard, so.
That I do.
End of the day, you pay for it.
You're right. Thank you. Don't know bad.
Mr. Bruce Green, would you like to say anything about our FBTV viewers?
Yeah, how I actually got here, I was trying to find out how I could get the most exposure to the Bengali community in the state of Florida. Because don't forget, I do the whole state. I have people in Jacksonville, I have people in Fort Myers, Haim Nurul Islam, and Nihal Perez. I have clients in Orlando. So I have all throughout the whole state, and I wanted to be able to address them. One of the things I'm going to do this year, which I never did before, to show my support. After the open enrollment is over, probably sometime in January, a lot of times people have some issues getting to doctors and knowing who's in network. I'm gonna invite all my clients to a party that I'm going to have catered.
Include me.
Not only you, it'll be you, Naeem, and the whole Khan family.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to be catered. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a lot of the in-network doctors there. So a lot of times people, can't get to the doctor, whatever it is. We have Dr. Hoffman, he's a chiropractor in Boynton Beach on Woolbright Military. He's going to be there. Dr. Om Singh. I'm going to ask Dr. Sabrina Mia to come. So I'm going to ask all the network doctors to come. We'll have a nice big party with lots of food and maybe some music. Maybe I'll sing for everybody. We'll see. And that's what I'm going to do. But Ambetter was very nice, and they actually gave me lots of giveaways. I should be getting a lot more any day. So I got these stress balls that are really good. If you're stressed out, like I get in the middle of the day, I just give a little squeeze. And then we have these magnetic clips you put on your refrigerator. These are really cool. You open it up,
so you can hold the paper.
Yeah, and you put a note. And these are great. These are little sprays where you can spray your hands at any time. So it's little compact, excuse me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some packages, and it's all going to be for free. I'm going to leave them at Deshi Bazaar. Shimon and Tushar already know about it. And if you want to go, you just go. They'll give you the whole package for free. But wait until it might be another week until I have everything. And please, if you go there, you mention my name. And I already told them they have fresh samosas. I want the husband and wife to have a samosa at least on me.
You told me before that you knows only one word. You said samosa. It's a Bangla word.
I know. It just came out. But no, the food.
You know more than one.
The food I know. It's the vocabulary.
Bruce, so I heard you are a proud father too. I heard about your son is a lawyer. So would you like to tell anything about him, like what kind of lawyer he is, since you working with our community and you helping us with Obamacare? So if I knew what kind of lawyer your son, so maybe later on we can get help from him too.
Well, I actually have two boys. One is a doctor and one is an attorney. Most of the people know Seth Green because he's helped so many people in the community. He's represented many people. And they actually own the bank building that's in the shopping center with Deshi Bazaar.
Oh, okay.
So that's where they are on Congress and Atlantic. And how he started was he was actually a prosecutor for the state attorney's office. And what happened was he was a very good trial attorney. So they kept asking him to do all the trials, even for other people. So he was working like crazy. And do you mind me telling you a little story? It's a cute little story. Okay. So a partner in the building is actually a criminal attorney. And he would say to Seth, you have to do me a favor. Can you work for me? You're just too fabulous. You're on the wrong side. But Seth said he didn't really want to work, he didn't want to do criminal. So he said, but the partner on the bank building with me has a personal injury firm. Would you at least meet with him? It was David Arenberg. And he met, and Seth joined, and before you knew it, he just started helping so many clients in big cases. They have had huge $1 million cases, and David Arenberg made actually Seth a partner in the firm. So now it's Arenberg and Green. And people, the same way I help the community, he helps the community. And
Great man has a great son too.
yes, great sons, 2 of them. I'm a very proud father. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Bruce Green. স্বাস্থ্য বিষয়ে কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকলে আপনারা FBTV-তে ইমেল করতে পারেন। অ্যান্ড আমাদের ওবামাকেয়ার সম্বন্ধে যদি আরও কিছু আপনাদের প্রশ্ন থেকে থাকে তাহলে আপনার ডাইরেক্টলি মিস্টার ব্রুস গ্রিনকে কল করতে পারেন, এবং তার নাম্বার হচ্ছে 561-300-6612। এই নাম্বারে কল দিলে আবার সে অলওয়েজ ফোন করলে ফোনটা সে পিক আপ করে, এবং যদিও কখনো সে মিস করে সে অলওয়েজ অ্যান্সার ব্যাক করে। কারণ আমার নিজের ওবামা কেয়ার আছে, আমি তাকে সবসময় কল দিই আমার কোনো প্রবলেম হলে, এবং সে অলওয়েজ চেষ্টা করে রাইট ওয়েতে অ্যান্সার ব্যাক করার জন্য। সো আশা করছি আপনারাও তার কাছ থেকে উপকৃত হবেন। শুধু দর্শক, আপনাদেরকে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ এতক্ষণ আমাদের FBTVর আলাপচারিতা অনুষ্ঠানে থাকার জন্য। ভালো থাকুন, সুস্থ থাকুন, FBTVর সঙ্গেই থাকুন।